Hi everyone, I'm Ken from CryptoTradingKS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back KS family. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 3.6% to 41,558. Ethereum down 6.31% to 3193. From my 30 plus years in financial markets, I explained the smart money institutional mindset to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, gaining real wealth in the process. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. If you're going through a life pullback, please know that the love and healing thoughts of our community are with you. You're not alone. The sun will come out again, and there's always hope. Crypto is a really volatile industry, and 5 weeks ago, on December the 5th, I pointed out in that particular episode, episode 358, that we could be likely to revisit this particular price area down near the lows of the past sell-off. This has occurred quite a few times. In fact, 1, 2, 3 times before. Each time when we got out of that particular pattern, we saw really good increases in price. Just be aware that we always need 3 probabilities playing out all the time. That's why Rule 774 is so critically important. Master yourself to master the market. You will see the majority of trading success or failure, investing success or failure, actually resides in the mind. The mind is tested in times like this. When we talk about making in advance probabilistic choices, you literally have to know what you will do if price comes down. For example, if it goes down to that lower area, what will you do? If it goes up, what will you do? If it goes sideways, what will you do? This is really important. Unfortunately, many people see this and they just say, oh, I'm just expecting it will go up. I'm not really caring too much about the other 2 opportunities. And they are opportunities, actually. One of the single greatest money-making opportunities in the world was when we had the COVID sell-off. Believe it or not, that was a fantastic time to be entering the market. Everybody was bailing. When you have the institutional mindset, the smart money mindset, you dream of things like that. They are phenomenal. As a community, we focus on real wealth and a positive excellence life trend. But why is that? Literally because of Rule 201. What we plant, we harvest. If we plant panic, fear, irresponsibility, anger, conflict, what do we harvest? We harvest loss. When we panic, we get loss. When we have fear, we get loss. It's pretty much a rule. Whatever you fear, if you act on that fear, you will create that fear. Be very careful of acting on fear. If we act irresponsibly, we'll get penalized. We'll get loss. Anger creates loss. Conflict creates loss. What about if we plant a positive excellence life trend? For example, courage, strength, boldness, kindness, integrity. What do we actually harvest there? We harvest gain. Courage is always a gain. Strength is always a gain. Boldness, courageousness, always a gain. Kindness gains. Integrity gains. This is a really fundamental thing to look at. This should look really familiar to long-time viewers of our community. Panic, fear, irresponsibility, anger, conflict, Zone 1, Zone 2. When we look at KS zone analysis, Zone 1 is the panic zone, Zone 2 is the blame zone. These are loss zones. That is why I do everything possible to get you out of there. I want you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. The only way out of here is an institutional mindset. What about when we plant courage and strength and kindness and integrity? Don't forget, kindness doesn't mean we don't have boundaries. Kindness can have conflict, absolutely, but it's like a surgeon's knife. We understand first. If we need to go into conflict, we absolutely go into conflict, but the concept is we do it with integrity. You can see Zone 3 and Zone 4 are all about planting the good, positive life excellence qualities in our lives and living from probability and rules. lots of them. When we talk about integrity, decency, gratitude, happiness, inner and outer peace, you can see this is all the planting of positive excellence, which creates a positive life trend. Yes, we will get pullbacks, absolutely. And what are those pullbacks? They're in your favor. That's actually life saying, I'm going to promote you. I'm going to push you down so that you can gather strength and courage and move forward to higher levels than you ever thought possible. So how are you looking at this map today? Are you looking with terror, zone 1, zone 2? Are you looking with courage, zone 3, zone 4? You always get to make this choice in your life every day. And we can say this is about crypto, but actually it's about life. Are you living from a courageous, responsible stance in your life, or are you living from fear? Coming back to trading and investing, and especially professional trading and professional investing, how do you make profit? Simply you buy at one level and you sell at another if you're going long, and let's just say everybody does that. What happens when price comes down? That actually lowers your average buy price. That is the perfect time to get in. Many people in zone 1 and zone 2 will only get in on something if it's green, and will avoid anything that is red. They'll literally run away from the red. The exact opposite behavior we need to employ. We can think of trading and investing as stocking up a crypto shop with all of your cryptos. Are you going to get your stock when it's at peak price? Or are you going to buy your stock to sell to someone else at some later time? Are you going to get it when it's on a discount? This is a really important thing to actually be aware of. There's many really famous investors that say buy when there's blood in the street, including your own. There's a fantasy that professional traders never make a loss, and professional investors don't make losses either. That is fantasy. Losses are the fee of entry in all markets. Making a loss is not a problem. Actually, psychologically controlling how you deal with the loss, that is the problem. That's why I focus so much on the institutional mindset for you. I want you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. The only way that you can get there is to rewire your brain. For example, if a black swan was coming along and we thought, wow, what is the lowest price that this thing could go? What we do is we turn to the KS model, which is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology. Remember, black swans are the single best time ever to get into a market. You notice this red line. That red line is a boundary that captures Bitcoin's price. It is currently sitting over here at 25,892. For people that say Bitcoin is going to zero, you know that they don't understand anything at all. If they say Bitcoin is going to 10,000, again, they don't understand the mathematical dynamics of this market. The basic lowest price that we would expect is around the 25,000 if we got an absolute climactic sell-off, a sell-off beyond all measure, another black swan of some sort. And we can see black swans do happen. They absolutely happen. And when they happen, it's okay. It's all part of the market. But what do we see with black swans? They get repaired very quickly as well. That's the thing to bear in mind. They happen and they cannot be avoided. But at the same time, things repair out and things resume their normal course. I'm not saying a black swan will happen. That's not what I'm about. Masterclass students, you actually have this diagram, you have this chart, and you have this indicator. What I'm actually saying is the concept of people putting ridiculously low targets on where Bitcoin could go and the crypto space could go. Just be aware of that. Remember, if you plant panic and fear, you are going to be subject to loss. Please don't do that. Life always tests us every day. Are we moving into loss or are we moving into gain? Every day you make the choice which direction you move. I like to use really simple analogies. Zone 1 and Zone 2 behavior suffers the light switch effect. That is where people go all in or all out. When do they go all in? You can think about it like this. These days, these red days, are the days that your character is forged, and it is forged always in fire. Strength comes from fire, basically the fire of life. When you look at this as a trader or an investor, if you're looking at red and panicking, you know you're in Zone 1 or Zone 2. If you're looking at red and you're saying, wow, this is a great opportunity, you're in Zone 3 and Zone 4. The difference between the two is pretty simple. It's just knowing the rules and rewiring your mind. For example, you could even ask yourself the question, how many times have you sold on red only to see the next day it severely bounces back on green? From that analysis I did all the way 5 weeks ago on December the 5th, we could say that the likely price, if it continues down, it would probably bottom out at the absolute lowest around 37,406. That's going on the probability of past sell-offs. And then when people find that they're at their darkest point, it will in all likelihood rally up. If we look at some wallets, we actually see that smart money is investing. It's buying and buying and buying. And you see the layers. Smart money buys in layers. This is the way of institutional investing and institutional thinking. They're buying when everybody is selling. They're having a field day. You're actually giving away your crypto at bargain basement prices to institutional shops who have just scared you. That's why we align ourselves with the smart money mindset. Rule 130, make volatility your best friend. What actually happens in the crypto market, especially in crypto, people just don't understand the volatility and they get whipsawed out. What we do as a community, as a family, we're very different. We look at volatility and we say, oh, I love you, volatility. You're my best friend. I'm just waiting for you. I can't wait for volatility to hit the market. It's a completely different mindset, but it's the mindset that you require to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. So what do we do when we look at price action like this? Do we say it's all over? Well, let's go back 5 weeks into the past. Was it all over when we said this is just pretty natural price action? Or is it just natural price action? It's just natural price action. We just have to be aware of those 3 positions, up, down, and sideways. The smart money mindset, the institutional money mindset, as you saw through that wallet accumulating, we scale in and then scale out. You can literally see here many accumulations of Bitcoin through this particular wallet. Don't get too caught up on wallet behavior because it can be misleading. But the concept is, when we look at smart money, it cannot put a huge amount of money, for example $1 billion, and say I want to buy $1 billion. If it did, that is sending the market a very specific signal. They always have to layer. When we look at Bitcoin's current price action, we know that it's just playing out as we predicted 5 weeks ago. Of course, things were looking quite good until we got this institutional candle pushing things down. This is just a technical violation. It's the smart money coming in and saying, yeah, I want things more cheaply. We did have a probability of going higher, absolutely. But this is the market. We have to be fluid. We can't just hold on to a position and say, well, the facts have moved against us. We always have to bear in mind what the probabilities are. The probabilities are that we'll actually come down, find support around this lower level, around the 37,000 at the absolute worst case, and then just come back up, as we have done so many times before. During times like this, people may want to take up leverage. Leverage is not buying at spot. When you buy under leverage, you don't do anything other than get a derivative contract. You don't own anything. You own a liability, if anything. What we can see from the past 24 hours of liquidations, there's been $530.34 million occurring across 138,590 trading positions. In the past 24 hours, about 78% of those liquidations were long, and we can see we're stacking up some fairly high liquidation levels. Don't forget, they can happen both ways. Both long and short can get liquidated. There have been many instances of people hedging either side, going long and going short, and getting crushed on both directions and wiping out their accounts. I would suggest that nobody does leverage trading in crypto unless you've got a really, really good reason for it. But you should be a professional if you do that. Otherwise, please stay away from it. It will actually crush you. It's also really sobering to think these are 138,563 people that were liquidated, traders that were liquidated. One person was liquidated to the tune of $5.21 million. Gambling is never a good idea. Just buying at spot, layering your way in, using volatility as your best friend, they are the things that we should be doing. The major reason that people use leverage is, first of all, they're just introduced to it. They think it's the only way to actually enter the market. It's not true, but it does take a little bit of time to figure that out. Buying at spot is a different way of going, but it's the only way to do. The other thing is people are looking for a quick buck. They literally want to turn things around, magnify their money. But what actually happens is they end up losing a lot more. Crypto is for professionals. If you're touching any form of leverage trade, you're in all likelihood 99.9% probability that you're going to get crushed sooner or later. Let's dig a little bit more deeply into what is happening throughout the world. We can see the number of confirmed Omicron cases is coming up rather dramatically to 552,000. Stringency is increasing in a number of countries. We can see India a lot, Canada as well, and that's not surprising. We can see a really big jump in C19 cases. We can see very, very spiky stuff with the daily new cases. Fortunately, the death rate is decreasing. That's fantastic. And what do we see overnight? 2.6 million new cases globally. With such increases in numbers, is the airline index coming down? Actually, no, it's starting to turn around. It's overcoming levels of resistance, finding support as well. Masterclass students, you will have this particular chart when you reach the appropriate area. What do we see with the other transport indexes? Things are repairing, a little bit of wobbleness going on, technical term, wobbleness, but this is really part and parcel, because when things turn around, they form lows and higher lows and higher lows. This is the way of an uptrend. Okay, let's have a look at Bitcoin compared to inflation expectations. We saw inflation rapidly jumping up. It's just come down recently. We can see the NASDAQ, that's that green line. What is the NASDAQ doing? It's hitting support up here at this previous price. What is Bitcoin doing? It's hitting support back here at these previous prices. What do we actually see here? We see signs of a really healthy market. And this is one thing that retail investors differ significantly from institutional investors. Retail investors think that any negative momentum in price means it's all over. There are technical structures within every single market. They are obeyed. And what we can see is that we're actually coming into a level of support with the major indices, the NASDAQ, and we're coming into a level of support with Bitcoin as well. We're going to have a lot of buyers down here. This is the way that markets work all the time. And why is that? Because price is always moving in a wave. That's rule number 4. Price moves in waves. Just knowing this rule alone can save you from so much stress. When you understand that price goes up and down naturally, it's just very normal. Everything is within a wave, a cycle, and you can just say, oh, okay, price is doing a wave. I've said it many times, the only thing that I'm really concerned about is what could happen with the Chinese property market segment. What we actually see is Evergrande and all the other segment, the other players in the Chinese property market. Look at this, they're starting to improve. This is very, very, very constructive. Let's just zoom in here and see what's cooking. It's absolutely undeniable that the Chinese property market is turning around, and it's been turning around since the 9th of November. I've made this comment many, many times before. It's really important not to get confused with any short-term variations in price. Institutions play their games. You've got to expect it. Things go into alignment and out of alignment. That's the way that things work. But look at this. Look at these uptakes here. It's just incredible. Vanke is going bananas. And what do we see? Evergrande. Evergrande's price is coming up. It's literally shooting up. This is really, really important stuff. It shows the share price of any organization, shows confidence in the future or lack thereof. Masterclass students, you will get this chart at the appropriate time. The other thing that we need to do is to look into the interplay of stocks and bonds and crypto. Crypto is really high risk. Stocks are risky, but far less than crypto, and bonds are boring. They're very, very low risk. And you can see just going back to November 2020, there was around 95 trillion in the global stock market, 128 trillion in the bond market. You know that crypto is the next generation of the internet. Of course, we're going to get money flowing from the stock market and the bond market into crypto. Many times people say, crypto can't go any further. There's not enough money in the world. They're thinking from a retail perspective. There's $1 quadrillion in actual derivatives. Just bear that in mind. The hallmark of Zone 1 and Zone 2 thinking is certainty. People want certainty. They want to see one thing happen and be guaranteed 100% of the time that something else will happen. It is a fantasy. It does not exist. In fact, institutions play with those associations all the time. We can see the fear gauge of the market. The stock market is coming down. This is the VIX. We can also see that the NASDAQ 100 is starting to consolidate around its support level. Light crude oil is starting its way up. And we can see bond prices are collapsing. Bond yields are exploding. Bond yields have been very associated with Bitcoin's price action for quite a while. We can see a divergence here. What does the divergence mean? It means that we could see a very fast uptake in Bitcoin's price. And this will catch a lot of people off guard. We can see that gold has actually come back and is now testing support. The dollar is consolidating but still below resistance. When you look at these things, please bear in mind, institutions play. They've got a lot of money and they actually push things around. When I see, for example, the bond yields, I see with Bitcoin that it is so good for Bitcoin. This divergence I'm leaning into because this is a fundamental driver. When it comes to Bitcoin, I'm not talking about the stock market, we talk about Bitcoin. And Bitcoin can really benefit from higher yields. One thing that you might like to keep in mind, new investors and traders are positively biased with their expectation in price. Institutional investors and smart money are negatively biased. Why is that? Because if you have $10, if you buy something at $10, it goes to $5, you just lost 50%. But if you bought it at $5 and it goes back to that $10 level, you just made 100%. That is the dynamic in which smart money institutional investors live. That is how they play the game. They're always trying to push price down because they know it will freak retail out. Retail will literally run for the door and they will be there just scooping up what you're selling if you are selling. If you have that smart money mindset, you say, I know what you guys are up to. You're trying to get the retail herd to head for the door. You've lit the fire in the building and said, fire, fire, everybody run. But you're a firefighter. You're running into that building. That's exactly what we do here in our community. We can see Ethereum has fulfilled one of its 10-5-10 levels, and it is probably on the way potentially to the second one at 28.32. Binance Coin is coming back to support and another 10-5-10 level at $424.30. We can see Solana has hit resistance, well, hit support, came below, and is currently under resistance, but it hit the second 10-5-10 fund level, which is 135.94. If you're new to the concept of a 10-5-10 volatility fund, this is a hallmark of Zone 3 thinking. Zone 3 thinking is all about putting some dry powder aside, waiting for volatility to come to you, and we play it like a guitar. We just love volatility. We can see Cardano just consolidating around its current price. What we can see with XRP, it's currently under resistance. When we look at DOT, it's just consolidating. You can see so many patterns play out in a very similar way. Luna was absolutely going crazy up here several days ago. For example, for the last 4 days, it was really doing very well, up, up, up. And we say price is negatively biased, so we're just putting our buy orders into the market at levels of support. And guess what? They're getting filled. Luna does look particularly strong. Let's have a look at the community favorites. What do we see with VRA? VRA is simply following Bitcoin's fingerprint. It's doing nothing other than that. It's being directly influenced by the gravity of Bitcoin, and that is critically important to understand. That's rule 45. No alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. Critically important to understand when you come to your beloved alts. When you see your alts behaving, it's more likely than not Bitcoin's gravity that's causing things. We can see Icon going through the same process. CRV is looking really strong. It's hit one of our support levels at 4.921. We've got a few more down there, and it does take time for these things to actually action. One thing that always gets new investors and traders, they're incredibly impatient. It's like they walk into the first lecture at uni and say, "Give me my degree. I want my degree. I've just sat down. I want my degree." No, of course they don't do that. But it's a kind of concept. It doesn't work like that. Or they walk into a job. "Hey, I want a promotion. Give me a promotion. I just turned up. I just sat down. Where's my office?" It doesn't work like that. It all takes time. And when you think about it, when you have the patience to go through the process and do what is required, you will be incredibly successful. Talking about foundations, when we go into the Crypto Trading Masterclass, what I've done is I have done Bitcoin trend lines, and you can see 1, 2, 3, Ethereum 1, 2, 3, 4, and Binance Coin 1, 2, 3, 4. A very, very clever student reached out and shared his experience with other students, and he said, when you come to look at these different classes, they all cover something different. They're not revisions. It's not like you just do 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9. They're all easy. It is you learn something different every single time. Really, really brilliant comment. That's just like in life. You need to be patient. You need to put your sell orders, your buy orders, the sell orders are up there, buy orders down at levels and just wait for the price to come to you. When we say volatility is your best friend, volatility takes time to play out in a market. And when we say let price come to you, it's all about patience. Patience is one of the most profitable things that you can ever experience. If you plant patience, tongue twister again, if you plant patience, you will reap such rewards that are unbelievable. Please don't race through things in life, in whatever you're doing. Just take the time. The opportunities will present themselves when the time is right. Just another thing for the masterclass students, the trigger will be opening just in a couple of days, and I've been working literally around the clock to put our community together in terms of a new infrastructure. That is in play as well. I might do a stopgap measure because I really want to get people together to chat about things. So let's see how that plays. But just wanted to give you a heads up. What do we see with IOTA? What is IOTA doing? Why is IOTA's price coming down? Answer, Bitcoin. This is the thing that you need to understand about crypto. Bitcoin's gravity is an absolute ruler in the crypto market. If you understand that, you're ahead, I would say, 95% of other people. We can see the same with comp. It's just hovering around a support line at the moment. Not totally underneath it, but it's showing a little bit of negativity. RLC is still under resistance, as is CARTC. But what do we notice? Audio coming into a level of support. This could be quite interesting to watch. When Bitcoin's price action starts to rock and roll, as it will, why? Because price moves in waves. When it actually does, what's going to happen to a lot of these cryptos? We're going to see double-digit percentage gains. It's really good if you're aware of how Bitcoin's gravity can impact the entire market. As we know, about 5 weeks ago, we came out with this particular situation. We may get a repeat of this. If we do, it's okay. It's just a technical violation, which is exactly what we've seen so many times before. With that in mind, please try to position yourself in a way that you can take profit from this. If you can't take profit from it, it's okay. It's a learning experience. Crypto is in its really, really early days, and the skills that you will learn as a crypto technical analyst, and that's what I go through here every day in this community channel, they can stay with you for a lifetime. This is not something that is turned on or off. These skills will last literally a lifetime. For the masterclass students, what I want to explain as well, in the foundation section, I get you to do some pretty full-on hard work, absolutely, because when you put in the time, you're going to see things that you couldn't possibly understand otherwise. I'm going to pull all these threads together in later episodes, and especially in Trigger for you. The other thing, for people up to the Real Wealth section, that always comes before Trigger. As you can see today, if you don't have your mind straight, if you don't have the particular focus for dealing with the stress in the market, it can be really, really difficult. I believe that about maybe 75% of profitability in crypto is associated with the mindset, and the rest is skill. You absolutely need a lot of skill, but you need the mindset more so than the skill. That's why I put Real Wealth below or just before Trigger. It'll make a lot of sense when you get into the Trigger process. I'd like to thank the very kind and generous community members who've reached out and bought me a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/CryptoTradingKS. Thanks so much, everyone. Especially, I'd like to thank Fraser. Hi, Ken. Thank you so much for the incredible discount on your masterclass. I am learning with incredible ease and with much pleasure. Fantastic, my friend. This has been the best investment of my life, and I'm so happy to have met you. God bless you. Thank you, Fraser. That's really, really beautiful. Feeling is mutual. And of course, thank you to Bruno, who wrote a really beautiful comment under here, and thank you to Rect as well. I want to thank our incredible community. So many fantastic comments on YouTube. One from Peggy that I found really good. Well, I find all of them fantastic. Peggy said, temporary declines are part of the longer advance. The advance will tend to be greater, so it's worth waiting for. Absolutely, Peggy, you're so on the money. Paper losses are just on paper. Definitely. They feel real, but they're fake. And Peggy's moving towards Zone 3 as confidently as she can. Well done, Peggy. And from Beardy, a very beloved family member. I thought I was immune to the manipulation, but the smart money is once again punching me in the gut. Oh, Beardy, you're very funny. I refuse to sell my Bitcoin to Michael Saylor. Yeah, no way you're getting our Bitcoin, Michael. Thank you to Gabscar too. Since finding your channel, I have moved into Zone 3 for sure. Awesome, my friend. It's just beautiful. I have been layer buying all the dips, and I've still got some left in my 10-5-10 fund. That is a definite zone 3 activity. If you have a 10-5-10 fund, you're either on the through the door to zone 3 or you're on the other side of it. Well done. Previously, I would have been all in. Well done. Managing because of the buying strategies. Fantastic. Gabskar went on to say, I previously made trades on the advice of influencers which mostly backfired. Gabskar said, I'm responsible and I forgave myself. Now in the masterclass, achieving real wealth by working hard for it. This is the issue. We always have to work hard for any advantage that we get, or else we'll lose it. Thank you also to Clever Crypto, very nice community member, a very good person too. Absolutely amazing video as always. I find your channel shines brightest during the dark times. We really like the dark times because I think that it's an opportunity for people to alter their mindset. Clever goes on to say, which really says something about your character, wisdom and credibility. Thank you, my friend. These people, the people who are lucky enough to be in your community, have been blessed with something truly special. Keep it going, you legend. Thank you, Clever. That's really nice. And please have a look at Clever's YouTube channel as well. He's fantastic. Thank you also to Felix. With responsibility, life promotes you. One of the elementary guiders through life. And that's gone into Felix's life rule book. Well done, my friend. It's really interesting about responsibility. Some people want to shirk responsibility. They want to basically say, oh, it's not, I saw the rules and I chose to disobey them, but it's your fault. It's somebody else's fault. Those people will always get demoted in life. It's really important to pick up responsibility and to say, this is up to me and I'm going to move forward with it. Then life promotes you, not other people. Life promotes you. And thank you to Buildy. Buildy was actually the first community member. You didn't know that, Buildy, did you? You're very special. Okay, thanks for the update, Ken. Had a couple of 10-5-10 orders fill. Still have most of them remaining to fill. Wow, well done, my friend. And thank you also to the Meditative Mind, another beloved family member. The Meditative Mind said, responsibility means being personally accountable for something within your own power. Finding a way to make it happen and not making excuses or deflecting blame onto someone or something else. Absolutely true. This is the rock solid core of integrity. Without responsibility, we can have no integrity. Without integrity, we cannot keep anything that we create over time. It will be lost because life will give us tests and those tests will demote us. It's really important to have responsibility because it's the gateway to integrity and in turn to success and wealth, consistent wealth, maintainable wealth over time. Something really nice also that the Meditative Mind said, we're not teaching kids in school about these things. And this is something that really saddens me. The Meditative Mind went on to say that the education is severely lacking in preparing our children for the real world and how to manage their expectations. I can't agree more. This is something that I really want to address. If we have any people inside the education system, please reach out to me at kstandf@gmail.com. It's like literally we're putting children on the path, putting them on the road, not telling them the road rules. There's so many potholes on that road that they can get caught and tripped over and severely damaged, but the education system doesn't look after them. It just simply gives them a lot of information that doesn't really help them to live a full and wealthy life. One of the things that I love in our masterclass, we've got many families going through it, and the parents are teaching the children about real wealth, about patience, dedication, discipline, giving it your all. It's just so beautiful. I really promote that. That is absolutely spectacular. As human beings, we know the road of life is not an easy road. It has so many ups and downs. It can have beautiful vistas, magnificent scenery, but it can get pretty dark at times as well. Having the rules, having the understanding of what's happening, having a deeper context with crypto real wealth is so different, and it just adds a beautiful dimension to life. So if anybody is in the education system, please reach out to me. And if you want to push crypto real wealth into the school curriculum in some way, shape or form, I'm there and I will support that. I also want to say thank you to Art. Art says, I'll forgive myself and do better next time. This is just all about the concept that there's profitability and it's not captured. That's what happens, and it's really important to forgive yourself for that. Nobody has that crystal ball. We only have probability, and the smart money loves to do technical violations. 10-5-10 is the real deal. Absolutely. Thank you, Art. I'd also like to say thank you to Rudy. What a great picture, Rudy. You're such a happy person. I love it. Rudy says, I strongly believe crypto is here to stay. Absolutely it is. Adoption hasn't even really started yet. We know that. It's absolutely so correct. Things are just starting to roll. Metaverse, gaming, NFTs will become some of the biggest business to consumer core drivers in the near future. The possibility of creating new business models, reducing expenses, and tremendous B2B applications. Yes, we are early. We are so early, and thank you, Rudy, for that really great comment. Many thanks also to JB. JB says, responsibility is one of my key words this year. How awesome. I'm in charge of my own life. I'm taking responsibility of all my actions. Wow, JB, that is just beautiful. And that is actually what responsibility is. If you think about it, people who are not responsible are not in charge of their own lives. They don't take control of their own actions, and that leaves them out of control and subject to loss. Having responsibility is a gain. Being in charge of your own life is a foundation of gain and a foundation of wealth. Taking responsibility of all actions is just simply how to learn more effectively. We all get life pullbacks. They happen to all of us. We all get losses. That is the entry fee for markets. That's just the way it happens. That's the reality. Taking responsibility of actions is really, really critical to being promoted by life. And it's life that does the promotion, never other people. It's always life that does the demotion, not other people. I also really like the comment from Just a Man. Hey, that looks like Elvis. Thank you very much. Okay, these are my rules. I pick up a coin that I like. I think that it has good potential. I wait, which is all about patience, for the red, not the green, the red, which is very good. I buy on the red. I wait, I forget about it. Fantastic, beautiful thinking. Also, thank you to Badger, another very beloved community member. The shorts are beginning to feel certainty. Turnaround is inevitable. I really love this. If we flip the emotions, we get red equals excitement and green equals worry. That works better. Badger, just beautiful. Well done, my friend. I loved hearing you talk about responsibility. If we don't take it, we lose the privilege. Responsibility is incredibly important. But what does that really mean? For example, if we're responsible, when do we need to be responsible? When something hasn't gone our way. That's when we need to be responsible. How do we need to be responsible? We just step up and say, well, that didn't go as I expected. What can I learn from this? And we put the focus on ourselves. We don't externalize the focus to others. And that way you get promoted. You gain the privilege. If we don't take responsibility, we lose the test that life has thrown at us. It's life throwing the test, not other people. This is really important to understand. It is life that always promotes and life always demotes. On the path to real wealth, on the path to wealth that you keep, if you don't have responsibility, you will lose what you get, and we don't want that. Our entire focus inside our KS family is to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. I'd like to thank all of our community members who've reached out and talked about responsibility and the various things that they have on their mind. There were so many comments that I wish I could have read out. Maybe you might like to go and have a look through the comments yourself. And we have that kind of conversation on every particular video. It's really good stuff. We have an amazing community. I just love you guys, and I just wanted to let you know how grateful I am to have such incredible people. I was thinking a really good thing to talk about for this particular video is that starting off of our children. We go through life and we encounter many roadblocks, obstacles, washed away roads. We encounter so many things. What would you have liked to impart, or what would you have liked to be seen, be taught in the education system? In other words, what do you think the education system is missing? I think it's a really, really important thing. If we want to see change in the world, we must step up with integrity and power and bravery and start to push the world in the direction that we want it to go. I think we can do that as a community, and many, many lives can be altered in a beautiful, positive direction by doing so. I would really love to hear your thoughts. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, my friends. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.